Hi, I'm Larry Zanoff, and we're here in the vault at the Weapons Department of Independent Studio Services, or ISS. And today we're going to be looking at Gatling guns. Gatling guns back in the day were actually weapons of mass destruction. They're kind of equivalent to today's miniguns, if you think about it. You know, Arnold Schwarzenegger in Predator with the spinning barrels. That all started with this Gatling gun. This particular one is a model 1874 made by Anderson Guncraft, and it's just a beautiful piece. There's nothing more you can say than that. Think about the technology that they had back in the day, where most of the troops that were going around escorting this gun were still using single-shot muskets. And then something like this comes into play, which is more what we think of as like a machine gun. This really is a force multiplier on the battlefield, and it made a huge impact when it came out. Now, interestingly enough, when it first came out, they actually didn't know what to do with it. They didn't have tactics that were developed for the use of this gun. And that's why you see things like it being pulled on a limber, looks like a piece of artillery. It's got two wheels being drawn behind a horse, and they would set it up and use it that way. Kind of set it on a hill, point it in one direction, and volley fire. We now, of course, know that the strength of the machine gun is being able to sweep back and forth across the battlefield, but they hadn't quite invented that technology at the time. We're still talking about, you know, the late 1800s. The Industrial Revolution was just beginning to really pick up speed, and so these were almost handmade, each and every one. Interesting facts that you see in the design are, you know, we have a barrel here that's a round barrel, and yet the last few inches of the barrel become octagon. When we take care of the guns and we maintenance the guns here and things like that, you kind of have to get into the gun maker's mind. Why is that octagon and this is round? Well, the reason was when you have multi-barrels, you have to make sure they're all pointing in the same direction. And the way to do that was you would pattern the gun by heating up the end of the muzzle and putting an octagon wrench on it and cranking the muzzle over. So each barrel, when it came over to the firing position, was actually patterned to hit at the same point of impact. Again, we wouldn't do that nowadays. We have laser aim finders and things like that, but they were still back in the 1800s. They were making things obviously out of brass and so on. Really beautiful gun, a very famous gun. Famously, George Armstrong Custer left his Gatling guns back in camp because he thought that they would slow the horses down. It's always been a big debate at Little Bighorn. If he had had the Gatling guns, would the battle have come out a little bit different? I think not, but that's open to debate. And then in the movie world, it's a really cool gun as well, and it's been, these two guns that we own have been on everything from 310 to Yuma, Jonah Hex, Book of Eli, and most famously, of course, the final scene in Last Samurai, where the volley of gunfire from the Gatling guns spells the end of the samurai class. So very, very unique weapon system. We have to do a lot of different things to utilize this well in the movie business. Blanks aren't the same length as the live rounds. You'll notice that the magazine is not spring-loaded, it's actually gravity-fed. So we have to block up the inside of the magazine in order to compensate for the lack of the projectile. So lots of different tricks, but it is indeed a very unique piece and takes a special place here in the vault.